Hello,
This will be a
and
great
welcome
start.
to
Hello.
This is Difficult
Hello.
podcast.
We never interrupt.
episode. I'll fix the title. Damn it.
Hi guys.
Oh no, it
Welcome
says
to
years
my
ago. It
show.
deleted my name of my thing.
Ah,
We gotta rename it. Guys, I'm gonna fix the title. I did the title, and then we.
Welcome to the Tamale Show, guys.
Years ago, we tried to.
Are we live?
We're live. Touchy no touchy.
God
This is an
damn.
area in Destiny.
This is episode 61. What do we say?
Meh.
We're gonna say remakes. IGN takes over
Yes.
3
Someone
and
talk.
So if
Something
you're
about-
already in, you just got a scoop on what we're talking about. Look
and
at that.
something else. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And then we're changing this to talk shows. I really messed up starting this, plus I'm a little drunk. Boom, update. All right, we're live. This is episode 61.
61.
We're going to talk about things. We got
We made
this. This is the
We made it,
64th
guys.
episode. This is
I
the
was in
show
all
where
of
we
them.
interrupt each other a lot while we're doing intros.
Never.
Only, gosh.
We talk about video games and other things, but mostly just video games.
We like
I'm your
those.
host, Paul. I'm here with our special guest, Chamali, as well as my co-hosts, Joe and Josh, and Colin.
It's me, Joe Ash and Colin.
Josh and Colin.
I'm
And
Josh.
we're going to talk
Joe
about
Ash
video
3.
games.
The Joe
I've been
Ash
eating
brothers.
crayons all day, and yeah, we're here to talk about
Welcome.
some video games, guys.
What's a good video
Oh
game?
my god, this was really hard to do.
Well, we made it. We're in.
We made it. We're
This
here.
is the safe zone.
Colin finished his workout 2 minutes after the
Delicious
show was
protein
supposed to
shake.
start.
It's okay. Stretching is important. Hopefully,
He's
you-
looking-
Green
Stretch it
red
out.
crayon.
He's looking swollen, like he got stung by a bee.
Nice.
And
so
I'm
huge.
wearing an Easter shirt. So
Me
Oh
too.
my god, today is Easter. I forgot.
Hey, we
Yeah.
killed God. I mean,
Hey.
just kidding. He came back and squirmed away from
oh
us.
my lord. So there's some really interesting games that have been coming out recently.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's
there
talk,
have.
and some of them have been played by members of this podcast.
That's us.
Wait, what?
So we're gonna talk
one of
about
them.
those things. You're one of them. Let's see. Let's get some of the small stuff out of the way, and then you guys can talk about the big games you've been playing. So why
Ah,
don't I
yes.
start?
Start
Okay.
it.
I played the featured game.
Me
we
almost
selected.
too.
We
Really?
selected
Almost?
a feature game.
Almost. is
It's
really
called
close.
Hotline Miami.
Ah, yes. I
Uh,
knew that.
it's surprisingly good. I was actually
You liked it.
we chose Hotline Miami 2 in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of the things I liked about it was one of the things you mentioned, Colin. The music is freaking amazing.
Right?
It's so good, especially if you've got good headphones on while you're playing it. It is so good.
Yeah.
The art style is dog shit, but
Oh,
it
that's
makes up
disappointing.
for it. It makes up for it in gameplay. The gameplay is incredible, and it's so hard. But it's really fun, especially once you get used to it. I played on the Switch, which I don't know
Okay.
if that was a mistake or not, because it's a twin stick shooter, but I could definitely see that game being much easier to play with a
Ooh,
mouse and
twin
keyboard.
stick sounds hard.
Yeah,
Haven't played those since the Super Nintendo.
but it's so unforgiving. So I would compare the combat to Katana Zero, only top down.
Ooh, Ah.
So it's like top down Katana Zero.
sold.
And there's no slowdown mechanic. So you just have to be you have to
returned.
well you have to like plan things out. You have to like analyze the situation and plan your moves in real time,
Oh,
which
wow.
is actually really
Yeah.
cool. It really gets you thinking, and or just have insane reflexes, cuz all of the NPCs in the game have godlike aim and reflexes.
Oof.
It's
Watching you play reminded me a little bit of like Super Meat Boy.
Oh, really? Damn.
yeah,
that
it's a
sounds
it's a little
intense.
Meat Boy E. I could
Meatish?
see that. It's a little meatish.
It's meaty.
Yeah.
Oh, meaties.
But it's that was really fun to get into. I didn't expect to enjoy it, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Good. I'm
Um,
glad to hear that.
so I'm really
Excellent.
happy I picked that up and we dug into that.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's the game of the year.
That's the featured game currently.
We did
So
it, guys.
it's Josh's turn to pick
What?
a featured game by the end
Oh,
of the
shit.
podcast.
I'll keep thinking.
So I'm not
I mean,
putting
I
you on
got
the
it.
spot. You got time to think about
I'll
it.
just wait.
I'm not
I
putting you on the
obviously
spot.
have
Yeah.
one picked out, but I'm just gonna save it.
Yeah. Perfect.
And
So
Wait,
that's
did
the
Josh-
main game
did
I
Josh
played
play
this
this game?
week.
nah, yes, he did.
Did you?
Did you?
Yeah, of course I did. I'm the one who picked it.
What? What do you mean? Of course I did.
I
You
picked
the
it.
game.
All right, I didn't maybe play it. But it's
Shamali,
like,
have you ever played it? I know you were in the stream when I was playing it.
I
Have you ever
played the
played that game?
original Hotline
Yeah.
Miami, not Hotline Miami 2. But
Right on.
what I really liked was the masks. Like they all have like
Ah.
some sort of like link to some sort of like 80s nostalgia thing. So like the
Yeah.
tiger mask was like Tony the Tiger
Joe Exotic.
or
It's a
Joe
joke.
Exotic.
Yeah, there's a Jake the Snake mask. What else was there?
I can't remember.
What's the pig one? That one seems to be prominent, and I don't get that reference.
pig. I have no idea what we're talking about.
There's a pig mask. And
There's
well,
a-
your characters, as you're playing, you're like almost always wearing a mask, unless you're playing as one of the cops.
Yes.
So-
It's a really convoluted plot, actually.
Okay.
Like I don't fully understand it myself.
I
But,
don't
like-
know that it's
Well, that
an
makes
important plot. Does that
Like-
make any sense?
So like the original stuff had masks, and they brought them back basically, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so lost.
It's an interesting game. You should check it out. I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect to enjoy it nearly as much as I did. And once I got the groove of it, once I got like understood the mechanics of the game, I really enjoyed playing. I'll probably go back and play some more.
Nice.
So yeah, check that game out.
Yeah.
And that's the main game I played this week. I'm trying to think if I played anything else. Let me tell you about an experience that I had this week that
Ooh, yeah.
it's game related, but it was really bizarre and I didn't expect to have to deal with this. So have any of you guys ever tried to transfer your Nintendo ID from one Wii U
I
to
think
another?
I might have back in the day, but maybe not.
It is a nightmare.
Oof.
So I had originally owned a Wii U, and I obviously had my Nintendo ID on that. And I sold that a long time ago. I never removed my Nintendo ID from that Wii U console. And so when I got my new one and tried to set up my thing, set up my account and, re-download my games and such, it was a process. You actually have to call Nintendo unless you have both consoles right there and you can physically link them up with a USB cable to transfer the information. You have to call Nintendo to have them do the transfer for you.
That's so ridiculous.
And it can take up to 48 hours to
Oh
do
my
the transfer.
God.
I was lucky and mine was done within a couple of hours, which was cool. But they tell you on the phone, they're like, yeah, this can take up to 48 hours.
That's
I'm like,
insanity.
what the fuck?
Just the
Yeah.
the console's kind of obsolete, I guess.
It
I love
is,
it.
but like, for instance, I did the same thing with one of my PlayStations yesterday, right? Because I've got a regular PlayStation 4 in the living room and a PlayStation Pro in my bedroom. Well, I haven't played the one in my bedroom in a long time, and my roommates have been playing the living room PlayStation a lot lately. So I was like, why don't I put the Pro in the living room and the regular one in my room? Which is fine, just swapped them out, right? Well, if you want to be able to let other people utilize the benefits of your PlayStation Plus account, you have to have that particular PlayStation set as your primary PlayStation,
Oh, that's
right?
so weird.
And all you have to do is activate that one as your primary. Now, if you already have one activated as your primary, you can go and just deactivate it on that one and then activate it on your new one. If you don't own that PlayStation anymore, you can just log into your PlayStation account online and deactivate it that way. It's a really simple process,
okay.
right? Very forgiving. Whereas Nintendo's got that shit on lock, dude. Like,
Yeah, why is it so secure?
I don't know. It was ridiculous, but I gave him my social security number and my major
Oh
credit
wow.
card.
You
No,
sure
I'm
that was
just kidding.
Nintendo?
No, I didn't do that. That was a
Hi,
joke.
I'm Nintendo.
But yeah,
I'm Mr. Nintendo.
that was a
me.
weird situation. But
I'm
one
a
of the
Mario. Let's get it.
That's it.
Yahee!
The cool thing about
Yahoo!
that I didn't really notice before, but you can get just about every Zelda game ever
Oh yeah.
on the Wii U.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
With the online eShop
Yeah.
into the remaster.
It's
of
pretty awesome.
Wind
You can
Waker
get
and Twilight
almost
Princess
every
and
freaking
Skyward
game.
Sword. Yeah, you can get a lot of it.
You can get the
yeah.
64 games. You can get Zelda 64 and Majora's Mask. You can get Spirit Tracks. You can get
Ooh,
like
you get Spirit Tracks.
yeah, you can get Spirit Tracks on there.
Well, I need to plug
Someone
get
said
that.
all
Spirit Tracks
sorts
was
of stuff.
good, and I'm just
A lot of
like,
people
what?
have said Spirit Tracks is good.
I've
Yeah.
played a very little bit of it, and
But playing it not touchscreen would be very interesting. Oh wait, it
well,
would be
you
touchscreen
play it with the
instead.
touchscreen on
Damn
the
it,
pad.
on the pad.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I guess it's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
So anyway, so that's what I've been dealing with games wise this week. So it's been pretty cool.
Nice.
Been pretty enjoyable. Colin, did you play anything this week, buddy?
What'd you do?
Let me see.
You did stuff, right?
I didn't play anything new this week.
Nothing
Besides-
new, but
Yeah, nothing new.
nothing worth talking.
Nothing new. Nothing worth
What
talking
are you
about.
saying that? No, not really. I just played Dead by Daylight.
That's what I was kind of
Yeah,
we all
that's
love
fun.
that game.
Yeah, it's really entertaining to watch people
I watched
tip
Josh
over.
play Thousand Year Door.
Here,
Yay, what a good
this is Dead
game.
by Daylight. I just did it. I
If you
played
left
Dead
Perk,
by
though, you can put
Daylight.
it back up though. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh what?
Oh, this
Changing
is me if
everything.
I'm the killer in Dead by Daylight. Ugh.
No, you can't do that. You just
That was
Oh,
too fast.
wait.
There you go.
It's so
I
exciting.
don't even think you've played Dead by Daylight.
I've
Yeah, that was
watched
too
you play it.
fast. You have to take 30 seconds to do
Yeah.
anything.
It's so cool. It's so exciting to watch.
He does
that's
well
good, though.
apparently.
You do well. People enjoy it,
Do
so
do.
I can't give you
Nice.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who wants to start? Because you, Chamali and Josh, you both have some pretty big games that you guys want to talk about. Who
Chamali's
should
is
go
better.
first?
I can start with Resident Evil. How about that?
Yeah, let's
Ooh,
do that. Let's
yeah.
do Chamali with Resident Evil, then we'll hit Josh and we'll come back to you on the other game that you've been
For
playing.
the
buddy.
ultimate.
Yeah.
So I've been playing Resident Evil 3 Remake. I actually
Nice.
beat it on standard mode. Had so much fun. I went through the next day and just went through it and tried to beat it as fast as I could. So I beat it just under 2 hours.
Oh wow.
And then I started my hard core mode, which after you beat that, you get nightmare mode unlocked. But having never played the original Resident Evil 3, this game was really fun. I really enjoyed it. The shooting mechanics felt very similar to Resident Evil 2's,
Oh.
the remake of it. But the gameplay overall wasn't as puzzly as 2, but I felt it was just as long.
Okay.
It was
Is
a
that
lot more-
good or bad? Did you want it to be puzzly or it felt like more of an action game?
Yeah, it was definitely more of an action game because you get like early on you get some like bolt cutters and some lock picks, and that's what you need to basically solve every puzzle, not necessarily puzzle, but every lock in the game. We come across a door with chains on it, you use the bolt cutters. You come across a lock, like a little padlock looking thing, you just lock pick it. That's done.
It's not as interesting.
I've got a question for you. The one the one criticism that I heard about the game, and I've not played the original or the remake, so I can't speak to this, but I'm curious what you say. Was the way they handled Nemesis, right? I feel like allegedly,
I don't know what
according
that
to
is.
the person who, it's like one of the big bad guys in the game, right?
Ah.
So, in the original, from what I've been told, Nemesis is more of like it feels more imposing, and it feels like you have to look over your shoulder a lot more than you do in the new game. Where I don't know how they described it because again I haven't really played it. So, but it's just kind of always there or something like that. Can you speak to that a little bit? Or
in Resident Evil 2, there was Mr. X following you around, and he was just an always there presence. Resident Evil 3 has Nemesis, but he's not always there. Like, there are certain... He's almost like scripted for scenes. It's almost like a horror movie. When the villain needs to come out, he's there. And that's when he's chasing you.
Mhm.
And in those scenes, I think he was very... like, I had to be like, okay, I can't sit down and like mess around with this guy. I have to move, type of thing.
Mhm.
And that was during my first playthrough, like my train of thought. But in the times that he's not there, there is no worry that he's going to just pop up. It's pretty easy, and like they should tell you basically, okay, Nemesis is out to hunt you, go, type of thing.
So then, how is that different from the original? Is it in the original? Does it just pop up at random? Because someone explained that there's a difference and that it felt more real, or maybe more dangerous, or there was more agency in the original than in the remake.
I didn't play the original, so it's hard for me to say.
Okay.
But
did you play that, Colin?
Which one?
2? 3.
Four.
Oh, really? 4 is the first. Damn.
6.
Speaking of 4,
I hate 4.
I just saw an article the other day that they said that they were remaking 4 also.
Hopefully they make it good.
Yeah, can they make it good?
Yeah, because
it's like a hunched over man, like with 4 bullets at any given time, like
oh god,
always
it's
missing.
awful. I know, Colin, that's your favorite one.
That's
but
his favorite.
Jesus Christ, we played that for the game of the week one week, and it was miserable. I couldn't stand it. I'm so sorry.
I remember
Colin.
that. That's when I first joined.
Yeah, it was when you first joined.
I really enjoyed the remake of 3. I also played a bit of the Resident Evil Resistance that comes with it.
How was that? Lots of loading times?
No, it wasn't as bad as when I played the beta. The beta was
brutal. I tried to stream it and I couldn't get into a match.
It was load city.
Oof.
I played like 1 or 2 games on the actual game itself, and I don't know. It was an okay game. Like, I don't really care for like the Dead by Daylight like scriptology of it, so
does anyone?
It's hard for me to like have a good comparison for that.
Yeah.
But it has the same keynotes. You have your 4 survivors. You have the one villain. The villain's supposed to be like coming, looking at a camera, and they can like essentially like drop zombies and traps in front of you, and like plan out like a scripted area. Well, survivors are trying to go through and like do objectives. So like sometimes it's like finding key items and then solving a puzzle, and then sometimes it's destroying things like that. And then the bad guy can like inject himself into zombies. So if he wanted to control like a zombie and walk it around and attack manually, he can.
Sounds badass.
It's kind of cool. Like, I played the I didn't play the beta because I couldn't get into a match, but I did play the tutorial. And being the villain is complicated. Like, it is extremely complicated, and you really have to think. Like, it's very strategic. It's not like other games where you're just a monster that's really daunted by pallets.
Sorry, it's really good.
You actually have to like think about where you want to put your traps. You have to think about timing of like when you're gonna like put a monster out or become a monster, or like all that stuff. It's almost like you're the super villain, like that some genius whatever sitting behind a computer monitor, like watching these people and planning it out. It's less engaging like when you're the bad guy. Like, it's not as like first person, right? So like you can go into the monsters and control them, but it's not like that's the only thing you're doing. There's so many more layers, which I thought was really impressive.
Sounds dope.
Yeah. Did I miss the mark on that, Shamali, or you think that's a decent summary?
Sounds about right to me.
Like
I said, I only played a couple.
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Josh, tell us about your experiences with
Oh shit, I got it.
Schmanimal Schmossing.
I actually got Animal Crossing,
What?
guys. I know. Everyone
Why?
was like, yuck. And it's
Yuck.
actually incredible.
Actually, I think it was literally just you and me that were like, yuck. And everyone else was like, this is the greatest game. Everyone
I
needs
was a
to
pretty
play it.
big
I was like,
hater
"Ugh, yuck."
beforehand. I still see like the things I'm doing and I'm like, this is stupid. Like, why are you doing this? But it's so goddamn addicting, and it gives you like a purpose just to like do a bunch of stuff, and it just feels really good. Like, if I had to translate it, it's like a really all the uplifting parts of a Studio Ghibli movie, like in a game that you just live in. It's like
watching them make breakfast in
yeah,
in
exactly.
freaking what is it? Howl's Moving Castle.
It's exactly that feeling.
Oh my god, dude. That's one of the best scenes ever. And
I know,
it's one of the scenes that makes me
the
so
eggs.
hungry. Like
The bacon. Yeah.
the bacon, that thick bacon, and yeah.
Yeah, I want that. But yeah, that's basically like the satisfaction you get from playing this game where as soon as I started it, my first thought was like gorgeous game. Like this looks like some of Nintendo's best work in like the Nintendo style. And the second thought was, wow, this is like really stupid. What am I doing? This is so stupid. And I just kept thinking,
Are you
I don't know, but maybe. But
It's
like
very
at first-
highly requested
yeah,
that you should.
it is. At first I was like, this is really dumb and I'm just doing menial stuff. And after a while I was like, it kind of feels fun to like do these things and like you kind of get a rhythm with it. And I don't know, it feels less meaningless, even though it's all completely meaningless.
Yeah.
But
so I am glad though that you bought it and played it for yourself before deciding to stream it, because
yeah,
I was a little worried, especially like how you and I had talked about it before and our feelings on it, that you were going to get it just because it was so highly requested and you were going to stream it and you were going to hate it. And streaming a game that you don't enjoy is bad. The worst.
I will say though, like on that note, there were some moments where I was like thinking about if it was streamable, and some parts are just so horribly, it's gotta be terrible for the audience. I mean, I guess if you're engaging,
those are great times to be engaging and talking.
Yeah, that's true. But there's some times where I'm like, wow, I just like caught like 20 fish and then just brought them all to the museum and like read all the descriptions on all the fish. And I'm like really into that kind of shit, because it's like the museum is really cool. Actually, that's like my favorite part of the game.
Awesome.
Yeah, the museum is actually awesome. Like it makes you feel like you're in that like a real awesome museum. Anyway, I can't imagine anyone would want to sit there for like basically an hour while I just read like the genealogy of 20 fish I just caught. So.
It's an oarfish. This is what the oarfish does.
It's a big fish.
Yeah, but I will admit
I want some more
long.
fish.
There are some very interesting parts of the game that I cannot explain at all why it's like entertaining, but yeah, I do recommend it actually, especially if you have some free time on your hands. Yeah. Or if it just like it just gives you like kind of like a responsibility in the gaming world. So you could just be like, oh, I just want to pop in for 30 minutes and take care of my shit.
I have strongly considered getting that game for Chelsea, because I think she would actually dig into it and get addicted to it. The hard part would be getting her to play it initially. I think when she played it, she'd be hooked. But the hard part would be getting her to play it initially, and that's a struggle. And I don't know if it's worth $60. You know, like trying like buying it for someone who might play it, and like I think if she played it, she'd get her $60.
I bet you would get into it, dude.
No,
you have a DS?
I don't know, dude. I thought the exact same thing. I really thought I wasn't going to be into this.
Why don't you get one of the older DS games? Start with that.
Yeah, I might. I don't. I still think that. I think it'd be much easier to get her into the Switch version.
The Switch is the quintessential Animal Crossing. Yeah, I will say that as well. Compared to the old ones, it's like so much more user friendly as well.
Yeah, and I've never had any interest in Animal Crossing. I've watched a lot of gameplay. Yeah, I know.
I don't know why.
But it's a hard pass for me. But
right.
I respect that everyone is enjoying it as much as they are.
It's very enjoyable. Yeah. I could do it instead of watching TV. It like hits that kind of note where it's like super passive to the point where you don't even really need to focus on it.
Like playing solitaire.
Kinda. Except like you can water your cards.
Yeah, that's good, dude.
Thank you.
That's so freaking funny.
Laugh, Colin.
Right.
God damn it. Paper Mario I also played this week, and the 1,000-Year Door, and I will say now I am certain that 1,000-Year Door is the superior game, although Paper Mario 1 is an incredible game. 1,000-Year Door is like the most perfect game ever, aside from Ocarina of Time. It's pretty phenomenally good. Colin,
that's a bold statement, man.
Yeah.
No, he agrees. Look, it's like one of the best games ever made. It's so special.
Really, it's something special. Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
I think you'd like it, honestly.
I think I'd like it too.
Game.
I just those games are
whimsical.
I miss those because those are games that Adam played and kind of hogged, and sometimes like games like that turned me off a little bit just because he was constantly playing them. I never got to, and I saw enough of what was going on that like there wasn't like much of a surprise for me at the time, or did you guys hear that loud crash?
Yeah,
Is
what was
what-
that?
That was
someone
my
dropped some
computer.
shit downstairs?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. I had a
Um.
thing at the same time. That was weird.
Oh, word. Anyway, so yeah, it's just something that kind of passed me by. So I am actually genuinely interested in going back and playing those.
I don't
'cause
think
do
it's a
enjoy
game that
game.
anyone can dislike as long as you
No.
like truly give it a chance. Like
Yeah.
it's so charming. It's like one. It's got to be the best game of its type. Like it's
Wow, that's
insane.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit back to Chamali. Tell us about Final Fantasy, dude.
The big
Final Fantasy
reveal.
7. Yeah. So
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
VII
7. Is it
remake.
first of all, without any kind of like, fluffing, is it worth it?
Is it worth?
Does it
all
live
my
up to the
effort
hype?
and my money and my time.
Yes.
Okay, now tell
Wow.
us why.
So like
Now listen.
there are problems with it, and let's start with that. It's not a perfect game, but it's still an
Okay,
amazing.
it's not a
So
thousand.
it's not Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Can
truly
you
fun.
water it?
It's only about a 900-year-old door.
Ah,
Yeah.
damn it.
Okay,
Pretty
so
close.
Yeah.
So close.
You only need 6 stars to open it, though. So it's kind of anyway. You laugh at that joke? Yeah.
I thought my callback was nice. I don't know. It looks like Chad appreciated it.
But
so.
anyway, it was good. I appreciate that.
The visuals are amazing. Like the character models, you could tell they took their
Tifa.
time with all of the
Tifa.
main characters that they
Fact.
wanted to take their time
Tifa.
with. Tifa,
Tifa.
Cloud,
Tifa.
But Tifa also.
Some of the side characters they didn't take as much time with. They look a
Ooh,
little.
I hate when they do that. They
Yeah.
just look
That
pretty,
is a bummer.
pretty
And-
disingenuine. Yeah.
Some of the other parts, like they just have like flat. Like so, there's a part where you go into Tifa's like room,
Nice.
and on top of her like dresser,
On
there's
top
supposed
of
to
her?
be
Like,
a,
oh,
a
never
sock or something. I'm not really sure. It's like
Wait,
a
where's this
purple
going?
blob.
Okay.
The reason I can't tell what it is because it's literally flat to the surface. It's like you went into like MS.
So they
Paint,
didn't
just
like
drew-
model
Sloppy
whatever
texturing.
the.
Yeah,
Wow.
Okay, so that's some sloppiness.
What is it
They're-
supposed to be? It's a sock for
I'm
real?
pretty sure it's
The
a sock.
dildo.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible.
It's possible. Let me just live
and-
with this.
Then, like some of the signs, they don't like fully render, so you can't read every sign in the game. It's very blurry. A lot of the textures take a while to load. Things like
Interesting.
that. Everything. in,
Are
like,
you
the
playing on
background-
a PlayStation Pro or a regular PlayStation?
on a regular PlayStation?
So
Even
do you
when
think
I
those
sit
are-
there,
Do you think those are things that would be mitigated by the PlayStation Pro or not?
I don't know. Like the sign, I don't think it's going to be mitigated by it because it's something like I sat there waiting for it to load for a while, like because I wanted to read the sign, and it just never.
Oh, interesting.
depixelized. Yeah.
Interesting.
The music, the soundtrack's amazing.
Yeah,
wow.
they always are. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they gotta
Um,
be.
The transition between battle music and normal music is really, really cool. It's not that like hard start and hard stop like it was in the original.
Yeah, I remember that. Or whatever.
Yeah, they did a lot more natural. So battles, I guess we can transition into that a little bit.
Ah, yes,
Um,
the bread and butter.
There are no more random battles.
Oh.
What do you mean?
It's all
Oh,
in-
I see what you mean.
It's all in the world, so you can see the enemy.
No
that
more
you're gonna fight.
Pokemon style wilds.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you walk into the fight and you just start a fight, and you can switch between your characters. And there's an active time bar, just like in the original Final Fantasy VII. You can do
delicious.
it's more action RPG oriented, so you
It's
mash
like a
square.
JRPG, right?
Huh? I'm sorry.
It's like a JRPG, right? Where you
Yeah.
control them independently in the fight.
Well, JRPGs are like the original turn-based RPGs, anyway.
No,
Yeah,
whatever.
so you control them.
Either way.
You move them around, you block, and you can hit square to do like a basic attack.
Okay.
And then you charge up your ATB bar, and then you can hit X, and that'll just like pause the game. It doesn't or go move. It makes it move really slowly. So then you can like get your breath and see like, okay, well, let me see now. Let me go into my spells. What spell do I want to use? What ability do I want to use? Things like that. And you can switch between all the characters going through that mode.
Tifa.
Tifa is amazing. She's probably one of my
Sure
favorites
is,
to
sure is.
play.
Until
as-
what's his face X or whatever 14. What's that guy's name? The dog. Is
yeah,
a-
Red 13.
Red
Is
13.
he?
Yeah.
He's not in it, is he?
He's
Or-
gotta be. Oh, well, maybe
He
not in this
is-
part.
Correct.
Yeah, 'cause he's
in
not
the
talking.
game.
How long? How many freaking chapters are we gonna have?
I don't know.
I
see,
I
if we
heard
got-
3, but that was way
Oh,
before
if we don't
even
even
had
get
an
to
announced
Red-
date for the game. So that was like way when they were
Yeah.
first talking about the remakes.
Let's not forget this is like an under 100-hour original game. So like make it like 300-hour games.
It was
kinda
like
crazy.
you could push it
I
out
beat
to
in
about 80 hours.
I did it in 55 hours, and I was like, that was substantial enough. I felt like I got a lot of meat out of it. But like
It's a
to make
great
it 3
game.
parts, it's like hobbiting a little. Hobbiting? Anyone?
So
I mean, taking one book and making it 3 movies.
Or like making one piece of cake and turning it into an entire fucking chapter.
some of it actually works really well though.
Yeah.
Like there are some things that are like, oh well, that makes a lot of sense why you're doing it this way.
Okay.
Other times it's like, okay, I can see you're just trying to extend this out.
Do they like
Mm.
adulterate the original story in any way, or is it like pretty
It's-
true?
No, it's pretty. So it's probably the most profane Final Fantasy I've ever played.
Oh, really? Well, I like
Uh,
the original was kind of, but you couldn't really see it. It wasn't like interpreted well.
Yeah, no, they cuss. I mean, they pretty laid on pretty thick of some of like the flirting aspects of it.
Oh, wow.
But
Interesting.
the other mechanic that's really cool. So you know how in the original Final Fantasy VII that you have the artwork of Cloud there with his big Buster Sword, and you're like, God, that's an awesome sword. And then 3
Yeah.
minutes in the game, you're like, oh, that sword has better attack. I'm going to equip that one, and you never touch the
Yeah.
Buster Sword again.
Yeah.
Right.
So in this one, you get like different weapons, but they give you a reason to switch it back and forth between all the weapons.
Oh.
Interesting.
The weapons essentially have what you it's not a sphere grid, but like you can go in and upgrade them individually. So you can add materia slots to them. You can add attack stats, speed stats.
Nice.
And so what you do is every time you level, you get these SP points, skill points. I'm pretty sure is what they are. And each weapon gets that number of skill points. So they're all separated. So your Buster Sword, if you have 70 points, you have 70 points for your Buster Sword, 70 points for your Iron Sword, and so on. And then you can assign those, and they each of them have different like upgrade trees that you can put them into. So like you can switch back to the Buster Sword if that's the one you want, or if you want one that just does a lot more attack, you can go to that sword. Or
Sounds crazy.
That's cool. I like that. That gives you a purpose to like, or at least the choice to play and look the way you want to. Like
Yeah.
like play out that fantasy the way you want it to, rather than just, equipping whatever the best item is. I like that. I think more games need that.
and
Cool.
then so just to make sure that you are equipping other items, if you've played Final Fantasy 9, the way that they got you to switch all the items was to assign a skill to it, and if you use the item for X number of turns, you got that skill for free on your character. That's how they do it with weapons. You get like weapon skills. Each new weapon has a different skill that you can learn.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's interesting.
Skillful.
So overall, you say it's a win. What are the negative things that you would say?
Yes, give us some of
Um,
those.
So I just briefly mentioned some of them, like the artwork, the background,
Yeah.
flat, blurriness. It didn't seem like they either
The
rushed
amount of
some
time
it.
that they've taken to make this game for it to have stuff like that in there is a little egregious.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, I love the game, but
Mhm.
there are just some flat parts of it. I've
Wonder
noticed there are some points where the game will just freeze too. Like
Oof.
it's just freezing processing. Like I'll go up to someone like an item shop, and it's just like, okay, did
Yeah,
I press
that's
it? Can I
rough.
move? What can I do? And it's just processing, waiting for everything to load. And
Oh, wow. So it's like too much of an endeavor almost, this game. It's too big.
Yeah.
I wonder
That's
if it
all
was
good.
designed for the PS4 Pro.
Or the PC.
or the PC.
Just give it to us and let us play it
Yeah.
for real.
I think it was definitely designed for a more powerful system.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The other thing, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the battles are almost, you have to take each battle in its own stride. There's no one win strategy.
And just like attack every time normal.
Yeah, if you just sit there and you just hit square and try to attack them, you're probably going to end up losing to a lot of the bosses or a lot of the mobs and stuff. Just so you have to use the assess or like information materia to read their like backstory and be like, oh well, this thing puts up a barrier. To take down the barrier, you have to use ice, and then you can attack it.
Okay.
That way, you have to actually learn its patterns and things like that, which I think is really cool.
Sounds
That is
badass.
But I can see that as a negative for some people.
Nice. Any final thoughts on that? On just the game as a whole?
I love the game. Like, it's a great game. I don't regret buying it at all.
Excellent.
That's
Very
good.
cool. That is good. That's kind of one of the things that everyone's been a little worried about. Right? Is like, do they give you enough?
Does it stack up?
Is it worth the price tag?
Yeah.
You know? So, and it sounds like it is, and that's really good. It sounds like if you do play it, you might want to play it on a PlayStation Pro, or wait till the PS5 comes out, or wait till it comes out on PC if you want like that really good performance. But if you want to just get it and experience that game now, you know, it sounds like it's still worthwhile. So that's good.
I'm on the fence.
He's still on the fence. That's
I just
funny.
want to get it for my PC is why, but I am tempted to play it now also.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Do you guys want to get into news?
Ooh,
What's news?
Dude,
what's news?
we don't have a ton this week, but there's some interesting bits that I threw in here. So, one of the things that we found out within the last couple weeks was that Nintendo confirmed that the Switch Pro is not going to be launching in 2020.
Wow.
This kind of confirms the speculation that we had last week, I think it was, or maybe the week before, where we were talking about how we think it's going to be in that same like kind of March-ish window that the original Switch came out in. And I would think it's fair to expect that to be 2021, right? So next March, right after the holiday season, they hit us with that Pro.
Especially since this year is basically canceled, so
exactly. That's another thing that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Is that 2020 is just a big old bummer.
2020, their biggest thing is going to be like giving us those new Mario game remakes and whatnot. Like that's something that a company can handle, is a bunch of remasters.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, I really hope that's what happens.
Like if we see even Paper Mario 3 this year, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a lot of that's confirmed-ish, but there's still a question mark, right?
Yeah.
So, like, let's definitely hope we get that.
It is Mario's birthday, though.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
When is it? Do we know?
The exact day? I don't know. We're just gonna call this whole year Mario's birthday.
Whole year is Mario's birthday. I mean, this year's my birthday too, Josh.
Nice. What? Me too. What? No
That's
way.
crazy. Happy birthday.
Year.
Oh my god. That's insane. Holy shit. So speaking of 2020 being weird, so we've talked a lot about how E3 has been canceled.
Sadness.
Right? Well, it sounds like IGN is here to pick up the pieces for
10 out
us.
of 10.
Good guy IGN here. So we'll see how that goes down. But essentially the
that's
ESA
been coming for a while though, right?
Yeah, it really has, right? So the ESA was going around trying to promote like a digital showcase, and everyone kind of bailed on them. They were kind of like, we're not really that interested. But it turns out IGN has been also speaking to publishers and is putting together something for later on this summer in June, which is around when E3 would be, where we'll see something similar, like a big digital showcase. There are already publishers that are signed on. Sorry if you're trying to read my notes. I was super drunk when I was writing these.
And reading
so
them.
They don't make sense. Yep. Well, I'm a little more sober now, but yeah, we kind of had some day drinking going on to just hang out today. But
it's Jesus' birthday. Come on,
yep,
guys, or
exactly.
whatever.
Something like that.
Death Day. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so some of these publishers include Sega, Google Stadia, Square,
Ooh,
Final Fantasy,
Square. Love them.
Devolver Digital, Bandai
No
Namco,
idea. Yes.
2K,
Ooh, they
and
suck.
THQ Nordic.
Ooh, we
Those
love
are all
them.
pretty big names.
Yeah.
So those are all people that have already signed off on this IGN showcase. So we could be getting, something akin to what we would expect, the information coming out
That'd
of
be
E3,
cool.
but it'll be presented directly to us through this IGN showcase. I think that is pretty cool. I mean, I might have picked someone other than IGN to do it, but
Yeah.
at least someone's doing it, and we're gonna get that information.
We'll certainly get Nintendo's beforehand and its own like 2-3 hour like long giant newsletter thing, and probably Sony will do a separate.
Yeah, it'll be like
thing also.
one big giant Nintendo Direct. Yeah, I would
think the
expect
big three
because
will.
Sony wasn't planning on participating in E3 anyway,
Exactly.
and so I would imagine that both of those companies would put out like a big Direct right around that time. Yeah, it would make sense for them to do it before. I think that'd be a good strategic move for them. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I would definitely expect both Sony and Nintendo to be separate from that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still waiting on the prices for the PS5 and the Xbox, so
That's true. That's true. Kevin, you didn't miss all of it. We still got a little left for you, homie.
Got a little juice left.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. This is actually a really interesting one. So apparently Cooking Mama Cookstar
Okay, Nintendo thing.
has been using your Nintendo Switch to mine cryptocurrency.
No.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds fake.
So I didn't put a lot in on this story, but essentially everyone involved denied it, except Cooking Mama did put out something about how the game would be, the developer of Cooking Mama anyway, would be beneficial to like crypto,
what?
architecture and all this like weird shit. It was like this
Okay.
weird thing that they put out, but then they kind of double backed and said, yeah, we're not actually mining cryptocurrency with your Nintendo Switches. And the reason people thought this is because apparently there's like incredible battery drain when you're playing that game, even if you're just idle in the game, like incredible battery drain.
Weird.
So it's doing some stuff behind the scenes. Some people have like reverse engineered the code and decided that that wasn't true, but it also could have already been patched. So
That's like
It's-
crazy.
it's hard to say.
conspiracy
It kind of is a weird conspiracy theory to think that someone is using your game and your game console. I think it's weird that they would use
Genius.
Switch to do it because the Switch is kind of underpowered. But if you think about it,
It's
if
the
they
kid
just
console.
got hundreds of them
Yeah.
and they're all kind of contributing a little bit of processing power, you could, you could build up a pretty decent amount of processing power to mine cryptocurrency.
What if the whole game was just invented for that purpose?
right?
It's insane.
That's hilarious.
Cooking
So,
Mama
I don't-
is like
yeah.
a franchise, though.
Mm-hmm. But just specifically that game that allegedly was doing this. But, a lot of people have come out and denied it, and now there's not really any evidence of it. But yeah, it's pretty interesting that that's something that even could have happened.
It's wild. Cooking Mama.
It is wild.
Who would have figured?
Um,
Breath of the Wild steals your social security number. Did you know that?
oh my God.
Just kidding.
What?
That's hilarious.
Link, why?
So this is interesting, but it also makes sense, this next bit of news. Microsoft is discontinuing the Xbox One X, which is their pro version of the Xbox One,
Why?
before the Series X. And the reason this makes sense is because of the current global crisis, right? They're probably
What's
limited
that?
on
Just kidding.
they're
That's
probably
still happening.
limited on manufacturing power, right? So instead of continuing to make Xbox One X and trying to sell that, which is soon to be an obsolete console,
Yeah.
they're moving that production over to their new console that they want to be able to release in this year's holiday window. I think that makes a ton of sense.
it's also kind of confusing.
It's a
Having
little
One X and a Series X.
Dude, I think
These
the
names
naming
are horrible.
conventions for PlayStation's got it right. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
4, 5. Like we get it. You know, you got the Xbox 360, then the Xbox One. What I had an
What were they
Xbox One
thinking with
15
that?
years ago. What are you talking
What were
about?
they thinking?
You know,
Yeah.
the One X. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, their marketing team is crap.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's good to see that they're putting manpower towards putting out and delivering on time the new system.
We'll see.
Right? Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
All I know is Nintendo
But-
won't disappoint ever.
Will they? I think Nintendo's like the kings.
Oh
of,
no, they might disappoint this year. No, Paper Mario 3.
They better
Yeah.
not.
They can't
No.
disappoint. You're gonna have Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 in one game.
That's true. La, la,
Theoretically.
la, la.
Allegedly.
Paper Mario
Allegedly,
is
bro.
really the deciding factor here, whether I have any trust left.
Well, except for
Also-
the remakes going out, all the remakes.
Sticker star.
Yeah.
There's still not any like solid confirmation on anything. We know that there's Mario remakes coming. We don't know which ones.
But they
like,
said
there's-
Paper Mario new. That's the
They did they?
important-
I think they
I think they
insinuated.
insinuated.
I
But it's
think-
why would they release it outside?
I'm
of
just
Mario's
I'm just
birthday?
like trying to put you guys' expectations in check here. You know what I mean? Like
I want them all.
don't be
I
married
feel
to
like
any
Thousand Year
idea
Door
there.
2 is coming out.
Okay.
What if they call
1,000 Year Door and 2 years later.
Would it be
1,001
2,000 year door?
it 2,000 Year Door?
Yeah. I think that'd be good.
I think
right?
it could
That's a
be
good
Paper
name.
Mario and then a new name also.
I
Yeah.
hope
Paper
so.
Mario,
Paper
the,
Mario and the Lost Hope.
There you go.
Paper Mario the Lost Game. And we're Paper Mario.
Super
and we're
Mario
sorry for Sticker
64
Star.
remake would be amazing. And then the final bit of news that we had was we got a glimpse at the new PlayStation controller, the PS5 controller. Let me
Looks
copy this link
weird.
and
I don't like the look of it.
I don't like.
you don't like the look of it? I like the
agree,
look of
yeah.
it. I
Looks
I
too
think the
alien.
color scheme isn't great, but I like the shape
Yeah.
and design.
I need a black one.
And people have done like palette swaps on it, and like there's a black one floating around, and I think it looks great personally. There's
Weird as
a
fuck.
link to it if you want to take a look.
It's alien.
The colors, this color scheme's a little off, but I think the design is spot on. You know, I think
We'll
that's
see
a
how
great
it
design.
feels in the grip.
It's called, instead of being the Dual Shock 5, it is the Dual Sense 5. So they've kind of, you know, labeled this as like a new evolution of their controller. I think part of that is two things. Number one, they've removed the rumble motors. In place of that, they're putting in haptic feedback.
Okay.
So you're gonna have a lot more like realistic feel
Oh, that's
to
crazy.
the feedback in the controller. There's also, and this might be a rumor or maybe something they did preliminary, but I believe there's like lifetime monitoring in it. Like it can
Oh wow!
monitor
So if you
your,
have a heart attack, it'll be
it can
like,
monitor
watch
your
out.
heart rate and like the amount of like perspiration you have, and like it's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's confirmed on this. I
Oh,
know that
weird.
they had patented. There's still a little bit of drunkenness going on here. So they had patented that a while back, and so that could also go into the naming convention there, theoretically speaking. But I think it's pretty neat.
That's pretty neat.
Pretty neat. Pretty neat.
Pretty neat.
Pretty good. That's about it that we have for this week.
You're pinching up every last drop here.
Yeah.
Josh, what's your
Josh.
stream?
Oh yeah, let me get that shit set
Yeah,
up.
get your, and also tell us what you want the feature game to be. The next feature game.
Let's say it's gonna be
I took a day to figure out mine, but you can do that too if you don't have one.
The one thing I don't like about doing that though is this. We can post it in the Discord, but I think it's better to announce it on
Oh, I
stream.
think I have
We can
one.
do both, but
Is it Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door?
It's paper. Wait a sec.
That's a great game. I would love to play that again.
I don't
Yeah, it's
own
really
that game.
incredible. I was gonna actually say we could do a Nintendo game, but I was thinking of curveballing it here with Dead Cells, the new one, Dead Cells 2.
I do
I-
own Dead Cells. I don't.
I
is there a
want to get
sequel
Dead Cells
already?
2 that just came out, or not, and it's just DLC
Wait.
instead.
I thought it was
Uh,
just DLC that.
okay,
came
then
out.
just
They
the first one.
announced Dead Cells 2,
Ah,
but
Oh,
they
okay.
do have DLC for the original Dead Cells.
I am happy to do Dead Cells. I do own that both on the Switch and on
that
PC.
sounds fun.
And
I've
it's a
been meaning to
really
play
cool
it.
game to stream on PC because it's got a streamer mode. So I'd be happy to do that.
Streamer
if you guys are
mode.
cool with
That
it.
sounds fire. Yeah, let's do Dead
Yeah.
Cells. Game of the day. Oh, it's over.
Game of the we changed it from game of
Wait,
the
what are we
week and game
doing?
of the month. It's featured game now.
Featured.
That way we
Dead-
can take as long
Dead
as we need
Cells.
to. If it's a week, it's a week. If it's a month, it's a
I may
month.
play that
It's
in
a
between my
featured game.
Mario-a-thon.
Dead
Okay,
Cells is
very cool.
also on sale right now on Steam.
How much?
Hey.
For $22.48
G2A.
with the DLC.
Oh, with DLC.
Hey, with the DLC, nice.
That sounds pretty
Very
dope.
good. That's a pretty fair price. That is an awesome game. Let's do
That's
that.
what I hear. Let's do that. Yeah.
Any
Right.
closing thoughts, boys and girls?
Come hang out with Lord Yeshua.
Yeah, we're gonna raid Lord Yeshua.
That's me.
Do you have your stream
Waha.
up and ready?
Good to go.
Excellent.
On in, guys. The water's
Cool.
fine.
We're gonna go ahead and
Where are
raid
you
you.
going to be playing?
Paper Mario on the 1,000-year door.
Excellent.
Nice.
I am Paul. You're on my Twitch channel right now, Ryugami-san. You can find me on Twitter at Ryugami-sama. Those are right down below if you need the spelling.
Not confusing.
And this shit's on YouTube as well if you want to catch it on there. One of these days I'll actually post the link. I don't know it off the top of my head because it's not the actual name of the podcast. So, Josh, you want to give your socials?
Yeah, Lord Yeshua on Twitch. And if you want to check me out, literally just sit in this chat.
Excellent. Perfect.
So they're gonna raid me. Also, Lord Yeshua TTV on Twitter and the other guy Instagram. I've been meaning to make us an Instagram.
Thanks, Kevin.
Working on that.
Oh yeah.
And
I
then
forgot about that.
yeah, I forgot.
Don't forget to send clips. If you take clips of the show,
Yes,
make sure
send me
you
clips.
send
I can
those.
see us doing anything.
We
else.
really appreciate that. Oh, Chamali came in clutch with our YouTube channel. Perfect.
Nice.
There you go.
Thanks for
That's in
Chamali
the
being
chat.
on the show.
Yep.
No
Thanks.
problem.
4Gs,
for
what about
having
you?
me.
Colin, you want to tell us where we can find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/4Gs. Also, a YouTube channel I brought back for the life. So
Yeah, look him up there. It's very
Going really
awesome.
good, actually.
I absolutely love Colin's YouTube
I'm
stuff.
working on
Oh,
some
they're
videos
so good.
right
Yeah.
now, actually.
Did you finish Tom Nook?
I can't figure out an ending.
There's so many references. If you just played like 10 minutes of the game, you'd be like, oh, perfect.
That's why I should probably do that. I'll just have you
Yeah.
play it. I'll just watch you play.
I have so many references that would be relevant.
Okay, why don't you sit down and talk with me at some point? Maybe I'll talk to you on stream.
Chamali, do you have anything you want to share?
I occasionally stream. You can find me at Chamali0 on Twitch. And I jump in on other people's shows like this. Right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep, just like this. Excellent. All right, we're gonna go ahead and raid
Talk to
Lord
me also
Yeshua.
afterwards about alerts and everything too, if you want some. So
Oh, let's do it another time. I'm very tired and somewhat drunk still.
okay.
So I'll hit you up tomorrow. All right, we're raiding
Bye.
Lord Yeshua right now. Everyone stick
That's
around.
me.
Goodbye.
Here
Have a
we
good
go.
night. All right, later.
Have a
Bye.
good one.
Bye.
And actually hit the end stream button
Oh,
this time instead of streaming.